It's about that time now where I really need to get on top of my PhD applications. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cait and today we are going to look at PhD applications. I'll be aiming for a PhD entrance in September, October next year, and a lot of universities will have different deadlines for application processes and will have different requirements, particularly for PhD applications. But what I wanted to do today is take you through how I manage those application processes. I want to set out which universities, which programs I am going to apply to and how I set that up. And I also want to show you a few tips and tricks for how I navigate pulling together my PhD proposal. And this video is kindly sponsored by Scrintal. I have used Scrintal so much in the last year. I use it for my research papers, for my master's, showing how I mind map my arguments and my ideas and how it is able to create this beautiful visual setup that I am then able to translate into a very coherent essay or research paper argument. Because of this, I have gotten really good marks in my research papers thus far. I want to use Scrintal today to firstly visualize all my application milestones per program that I am applying for, detailing things like what I need to pull together for the application requirement, what the deadline might be, and have it in a very sort of visual, almost project-like board. And then I'm also going to create a separate Scrintal board that is just focused on my research proposal and what that might contain. So for example, like my literature review, what my primary argument is, and how the program that I'm applying to will suit my research proposal. So essentially, we will be tackling three things in this video: visualizing the milestones, organizing our research, and tracking our progress. If you would like to follow along with your application processes with me, I have a discount code to Scrintal linked in the description box below. And the great thing with Scrintal is that they have an upcoming launch that is happening at the end of September. So if you join up today, not only will you get a discount in price, but it will also set you up for the exciting launch that is happening in September that I can't wait to share more with you. Another little flag is that their lifetime plan that they have is also ending really soon. And so if you wanted to get your hands on Scrintal for a reduced price, now is the time to do so. As I mentioned, I have used Scrintal so much in the last year with my research papers and with project dashboards and different ideas that I've had for research papers that I honestly could not imagine my life without Scrintal at the moment. The fact that I can access it on my iPad whenever I go to university, the fact that it is all cloud-based and offline means that it's really easy to get into no matter where you are. And the fact that it provides this really great visual space to see the whole picture of what you're working on is just phenomenal, and I think it allows for a great way to visualize ideas and determine deadlines and projects. Without further ado, let us get into the video. All right, friends, so let's get started. I have already started putting together my visualization of my PhD application board. So I have started by pulling in here. Let me just zoom in real quickly so you can see that in a bit more detail. So this is my full board. I've started pulling in the programs that I want to apply for, and I figured that I'd show you how I create these cards and what I need to do and pull them all together. So what I've started to do, as you can see, I've got columns here that are for each of my programs that I want to apply for. So I've got the Oxford DPhil program that is a continuation of my master's program, Queen's College in Belfast, their PhD in English, and I'm going to create another one here for Trinity College, Dublin. Also, you'll have to excuse any typos that I have. Obviously, I have an injury to my finger where I had a mild disagreement with a slicer over the weekend. But what I've started to do is I have highlighted in the first card here what my motivation is for applying to that specific program. So, for example, for Trinity, it is a very highly sought after program, and I really want to work, it's local, which is less traveling for me, and I want to work with Professor Andy Murphy. So, I know that's funny, we have the same surname, but no relation. So, I really like that because at a glance, I can kind of look at like what the pros are for each program. And then I've created a card here which is going to have the website for the application process. So here's the website for the DPhil in my current program, so I have it easily accessible. I'm just going to adjust this because obviously we need it to look nice. Fix that, and then we want to do this for Trinity's one as well. So I've obviously gone in and done a lot of the research that I've needed to do here already. So I do have a lot of this information at hand. Obviously, while you're going through this application process, you're probably going to be sort of stopping to do some research on your prospective supervisors and those kind of things. So I started by creating these deadline cards. So Queen's University's deadline is only next year. So I'm going to actually move that to like right at the end. Whereas I know, for instance, that Oxford's deadline is coming up pretty soon, 2024 for 2025. So I'm actually going to, let's take the bold out. We're going to say that the deadline is actually the 30th of September, 2024. And I also want to change the color of this card. This is coming up quite soon, so I'm going to make that color that. And I think Trinity's one is in a similar position. Yeah, so applications open in September. So I'm also going to say deadline 30 September 24. Applications open September 2024. And because these application deadlines are at the same time, I'm going to make them the same color. So I think this is starting to look really, really good. Obviously, there's a couple of other programs that I want to add into this, but I really like the structure so far. The one thing that I want to add in is what I need to include in those applications. So I'm actually going to create a new card here, and I'm going to say application documents for both. And I think I'm actually going to move it above the deadline. So I'm going to do the same here, application documents. And move it above the deadline here. I'm going to do it for all of them. Typing is becoming very problematic for me. And we're going to move it above the deadline. So as you can see, I'm starting to get this really great visualization of what I need to prioritize and at which point. So we go into application deadlines for the Oxford program. Here, the website details that I need a proposed field and title of research project. I also need a proposed supervisor, which I've already researched and identified. I need references, 3 of them, and an official transcript. That's fine, I can get those. A research proposal. That needs to be max 1,000 words, and a piece of written work, which is also fine. That needs to be a max of 5,000 words, which I have. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab these, I'm going to turn them into task lists, so I am able to tick off whenever I have hit a task. So for instance, I already have a proposed supervisor, which is fantastic, and I have a proposed field and title for my research project. So this is already looking really, really good, and what I'll be able to do here for my research proposal is I'll be able to create a link. I'm creating a link to PhD proposal. So now when I want to get directly to my research proposal, I can just jump directly into my PhD proposal board, which is fantastic. This is so easy to work with. I also know that here I can create a link to a web link or to another. I believe I can create a link to a external PDF or something of that effect, which is fantastic. I can also just upload directly a PDF or a document link to that particular task. So this makes it really, really easy to collate and to see what I need to do and when I need to do it. It also shows me how far along in the application process I am. And I cannot tell you how easy this is to get this together. I mean, how long have I been doing this now? Not very long at all. And I just think it's so easy. So I'm going to show you, for instance, here I know the first thing that I need to do for Trinity is I need to submit a research admissions inquiry template where I need to answer questions about my academic background and my relevant research proposal. So I have actually got this here. You can see, so I'm going to download this document and I'm going to link it. So then it takes me directly to the template and I can fill in exactly what I need. So for this, I just want to list that I need a brief outline of academic background, no more than 100 words. I need a brief outline of proposed research topic, which is no more than 200 words. And I also need a brief outline of why Trinity. And I need to include a proposed supervisor. And this needs to be no more than oh my goodness, 200. This finger is killing me. 200 words. I'm going to keep those as bullets because I would then like to be able to write out in here exactly what I want to say and then transfer it directly into the template. So that is super duper easy. I know that I need to submit that before I even move forward with any other part of the application. And I am really starting to love the way that this looks. It's going to be super easy for me to anticipate what I need to do, when I need to do it, and allow me to kind of visualize holistically which programs I'm applying to and what I need to provide for those programs. So I'm going to whiz through adding in the remaining bits of my programs now so that you can see what it's like. It will just be a time lapse before we get started on the PhD proposal board. All right, so I have pulled together my application dashboard. I think it looks so nice. I love it. I feel like I can just go in at a glance, see what I need to do, see where, the progress is for each of my applications according to the tasks that I've set myself. I have identified deadlines here, and I just think that this looks so cool. I'm so excited. I think it looks so great. So that is my application dashboard. It looks amazing. And obviously feel free to replicate this application dashboard in your own scrintal. Feel free to look at this video, create it for yourself, adjust it. Let me know how you adjust it. I would love to know how you use scrintal for your own application dashboard. And of course, this isn't limited to PhDs. This can be used for any university applications, but this will just help keep you insanely organized when it comes to your applications. So now what I want to show you is the fact that I have also linked my research proposal dashboard. Now, I haven't gotten very far on this at all. I have just kind of started to mind map things out. So what I want to be able to do with this research proposal is have all the information ready so that when I need to submit a research proposal for my applications, I can just jump straight into here, pull the information that I need and attach it and send it off. So there are a couple of things that I want to do to set this up in the meantime. Obviously, the PhD proposal requires a huge amount of research and a huge amount of critical analysis and engagement. So I want to be able to show that my main argument being Spencer's female villainous characters are being re-looked at. So there's a couple of things that I want to add in here just to show you how I would lay out not only this kind of PhD proposal, but how I would lay out a research paper side of this. So The first part here that I've identified is obviously a literature review, and I have created based on the literature. And I want to add in subsequent cards where I can start talking about some of the key pieces of literature that I have found. So I'm just going to pull those in here. So I'm actually just going to copy this all across because it's all going to be helpful, and it's very, very easy to see all of the bits that I need. And I'm going to, as I go through my research, obviously create cards for additional pieces of research that I do. So I want to look at gender and space, which is one of the books that I'm currently reading, and I will pull my notes in here for the literature review. So all of these will be categorized into one box effectively. And I'm just going to make sure that I keep them all together. Most important thing when doing your literature review is also just making sure that you keep it very, very specific and you identify what the gaps are. And obviously all of these, oops, I want to connect, and I want to make sure that this is all aligned together. Wonderful. Move that so we've got the literature review. Then we're going to create another card here, and this is going to talk about our methodology. I'm going to make that one of those. In the methodology, I am going to draw parallels So as you can see here that I've actually used this methodology in one of my previous assignments. And so I'm actually calling up the methodology from one of my assignment boards so that I don't have to repeat myself and I have it all together in one easy access form. Next thing, the next card that I'm going to create is here, and this is going to be examples from the Fairy Queen. Toggle that, that's going to look good. And then I'm going to create cards here again because I have actually used these before in previous essays. So now we are starting to formulate what this proposal is starting to look like. And I think it is really good to be able to visualize these kind of breakdowns, especially because you need to have a very, very succinct literature review for your PhD proposal. You have to have your research very, very well done. And I think by visualizing it in this manner, I am able to bring in the most important aspects of a PhD proposal that I can then uplift into a document that I share with prospective PhD supervisors in the next coming weeks. So obviously I am not going to continue working on this now. There's so much more that I need to input into this PhD proposal board as I kind of go through the research myself. But I really like the way that I've kind of laid it out and I've structured it, and I can pull in different characters in my examples with references to pictures or links or specific passages. It is really, really easy to then expand on these boards and be able to see where I've linked them in the past. So I really like this. I think I'm going to change this color, but I really love the way that this board is starting to look. So now if I go to my boards, I can start to see, I mean, you can see all the boards that I've created in the past, and all of them have been so helpful. Thank you for coming along this application process with me. I hope that you have found it helpful, and I hope that you will consider giving Scrintal a try. I honestly cannot say enough about how wonderful this application is and how often I've used it as a student, as a master's student, as a graduate student, and how much I am so certain it will form a great part of my PhD dissertation. And if you would like to give Scrintal a go, I have that link in the description box below. Please give it a try, and thank you so much, Scrintal, again for sponsoring this video. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.